Bringing the college community together from near and far every Tuesday at 5 o'clock. Welcome to NewsWaves Connection. Hi, I'm Tiger Ashtiani.
And I'm TJ Barnholtz. Today we are covering the controversial email from the Dean of Public Policy, the conflict between Armenia and Azerbaijan, and how Waves are preparing for their upcoming seasons.
Last week, the Dean of Pepperdine School of Public Policy sent out a petition calling to defund schools that teach a new ethnic-centered curriculum, leaving the community divided. The Graphic reported Pete Peterson shared the petition with conservative news subscribers on Monday, October 12th. The email calls for President Trump to stand against leftist curriculum in schools, which includes the 1619 Project, a New York Times Magazine initiative aiming to reframe America's history around consequences of slavery in Black Americans. The publication left a stark divide within the Pepperdine community, with over 100 comments arguing both sides. The Pepperdine University Diversity Council quickly released a statement calling for Peterson and the graduate school to do the work needed to make the university anti-racist. According to the university's statement, Pepperdine administration was unaware of the petition before its release and has suspended the school's involvement with the campaign.
Turning now to more controversy across the globe. Armenian citizens are facing attack from Azerbaijan. Our Miles Campbell explains the conflict and what it means to Pepperdine's Armenian students.
Pepperdine's Armenian community is pleading for support as citizens of their home country currently face attack by Azerbaijan over the land territory Nagorno-Karabakh.
Personally, being Armenian is literally my identity. It's who I am. And seeing my brothers and sisters literally younger than me going and dying. They're literally dying right now as we speak. And it's just, it hurts.
Nagorno-Karabakh, a land that is 97% Armenian but lies in Azerbaijani borders, is currently trying to be reclaimed by Azerbaijan's government. This is being done with extreme force as the capital city of the territory was bombed to force Armenians to leave.
The main thing that I'm having an issue with is how they're continuously bombing civilian capitals, civilian cities and towns. And that's the land they're trying to take back, which is so confusing to me because they're basically destroying the land that they want, which makes no sense.
One of the other challenges the Armenian community faces is misinformation and propaganda being spread by Azeris on social media. Azeris attacked high-profile Americans who voiced their support, including Michael B. Jordan and Elton John. Members of the Armenian Student Association have taken to social media in attempts to educate their non-Armenian peers, but have faced challenges raising awareness about how serious the situation is. To members, the most beneficial action peers can take is to educate themselves on the situation.
It's not the raising money aspect, it's the knowledge aspect. So I want people to understand what's going on so that once you understand what's happening, you have a more direct connection.
In the end, if people don't know what they're donating for, if people don't know the atrocities that are going on, then there really is no point for it to be out there.
Do your research. That's the most important thing. Do your research. Don't just see the headlines and make your opinion based on that.
The Armenian Student Association has raised over $7,600, but continues to seek support through social media engagement and financial donations. Miles Campbell, NewsWaves Connection.
If you'd like to donate to the Armenian Fund, you can do so by going to www.armenianfund.org. For more action items and resources, you can interact with the Armenian Student Association's Instagram page.
I've actually learned a lot from ASA's Instagram page, so it's definitely been a fantastic resource for me.
I know that right here in Los Angeles, Armenians have really been taking it to the streets. In fact, the Los Angeles City Hall building was even lit up with the Armenian flag colors. So I hope that the support is even felt from here.
Fires continue to rage through California, but luckily more help is on the way. President Trump has approved wildfire aid after initially denying California's request. Nearly 8,500 wildfires have burned more than 4 million acres in California since the start of the year. Over 11,000 firefighters are working tirelessly to contain 20 of these fires, and the White House approved federal disaster relief for the state of California. Pacific Gas and Electric cut power starting last Wednesday to about 100,000 people in the Sierra Nevada foothills and the San Francisco Bay Area. The power outages are intended to prevent new fires from starting.
This year's census may not count everyone. The 2020 census was originally due at the end of October, but the Supreme Court approved the Trump administration's request to end counting early on October 15th. The Census Bureau released the questionnaire in March, which could be completed by mail, phone, or online. Every 10 years, the U.S. Census Bureau is responsible for collecting data of the American people. The Census Bureau must submit the state population counts to the president by December 31st in order to determine representation in the House of Representatives and the Electoral College.
The census is important for recording where people live, and when Pepperdine students come back to campus, more might want to live at Lovernick Apartments. Lovernick now features new LED lighting, blinds, stainless steel appliances, kitchen countertops, plumbing, ventilation, and more. Housing and Residence Life did defer new furniture for units due to budget constraints. HRL had previously received negative feedback about the apartment's general appearances, contrasted with the George Page Apartments. Both complexes share the same apartment layout, now with equivalent amenities.
Maybe now, instead of people fighting over the Page Apartments, people will fight over Lovernick. Well, if we do return to campus, I'm sure that masks will be required, and this week's Entrepreneur of Pepperdine has you covered. Pepperdine student Harper Tram created Hometown Harp, her own company designing and selling masks.
Hometown Harp is an online Etsy store that sells custom masks, and for every one we sell, we donate to.
Harper Tram started her business when the coronavirus pandemic hit the nation and masks became a need. Harper explained how her father inspired her business.
Hometown Harp was inspired by my dad. One day in March, he came home and said that his business really could use masks and was wondering if I could use my old sewing skills to help provide face coverings for his office.
Despite the challenge, Harper managed to successfully upkeep her business during the pandemic so far, all while balancing her school load.
It's definitely difficult to start a business in college, but I started over the summer, so it helps ease it in to the fall semester. But it can definitely be difficult with midterms and tests and studying and balancing your time.
The Pepperdine community contributes to Hometown Harp's success.
The Pepperdine community has been really supportive of Hometown Harp and helping me get the word out and helping me donate and sew over 600 masks.
While Harper isn't too sure what Hometown Harp has in store, she knows that she loves to sew and is happy to continue sewing.
I see Hometown Harp continuing to sell masks until there's no longer a need, and then whenever that happens, I'm happy to take Hometown Harp wherever it wants to go.
You can purchase her masks through the Hometown Harp Etsy page at Hometown Harp, or you can check them out on Instagram at Hometown Harp.
Some Pepperdine teams are finally able to get in the game, and our sports reporter Rihanna Dizon can tell us more about the upcoming games.
Pepperdine sports fans, get ready because golf and basketball are back in action. The NCAA gave them the okay for competition, but with COVID-19 restrictions. I'm Rihanna Dizon in the San Francisco Bay Area, where I spoke with 3 athletes about their preparation going into an unprecedented season.
We didn't even know if this was going to be possible, so to be able to have that first official practice and know that season is coming around the corner, it's very exciting for all of us to have the opportunity to still play.
While golf was one of the first sports to have a season, NCAA basketball players had their first official practice on Wednesday, October 14th, and are preparing for their first preseason game on November 25th.
Just focusing on making sure we're in shape, getting on the same page with everybody, getting everybody back on the court. So it's really just been a process of getting through this, all the defense, the offense, trying to get caught up really because we've been behind.
Pepperdine Golf has adjusted pretty well to this pandemic. Seniors on the golf team, Austin Murphy and RJ Mankey, said they have less challenges compared to other sports, but there are still regular restrictions.
With golf, it's great because it's an individual sport. We can do it on our own. Me and all the guys on the team have been able to practice at our own courses back at home all summer.
We always had to have our masks on campus, no matter what we're doing. We always had to have our temperatures being taken before we work out, going through specific COVID protocols, things like that, to make sure that we're all kind of COVID negative.
While team bonding has been affected by coronavirus guidelines, teams are still finding creative ways to keep the chemistry going.
We would have team Zoom meetings with our coaches too. We'd play some games, just a lot of interactive stuff so that we're still building that chemistry, still getting to interact with each other.
It's been a process trying to get sports back during this pandemic, and Pepperdine Waves have proven that they're ready for any challenge. Rihanna Dizon, NewsWaves Connection.
And the Waves will keep March Madness in 2024. Pepperdine will host the NCAA West Regional Men's Basketball Championship in 2024 at the Staples Center. This is Pepperdine's 5th time hosting the event, last time in 2018. Pepperdine has partnered with Staples Center and the Los Angeles Sports and Entertainment Commission in the past to host 3 NCAA West Regional games. 68 teams from the Western region will compete in the tournament, including our very own Pepperdine Waves.
Turning to entertainment, it will be a few months more before fans are able to see their favorite shows in the bright lights. Entertainment reporter Katie Muchler has more.
The show must go on, or so we hope. Broadway will remain closed until May 30th, and that date is subject to change. The Broadway League put out a press release saying that individual shows will announce each of their debuting dates and times in June. This is a huge hit to the economy, as Broadway employs over 97,000 people and is worth over $15 billion in New York City alone. Pepperdine theater professor Hollis Starr said,
I usually think about theater, I think of just the entire industry, and how the entire industry of theater has been so crippled.
All shows on Broadway have been shut down since March 12th. And many theaters, including Pepperdine's, have shifted to an online format. Pepperdine theater professor and costume designer Melanie Watnick says they had a larger audience for their stream performances, but it was all about learning fast when putting together a stream show.
So the way we can do theater for now that's the safest, that is not a risk at all, is to do live production that is live streamed or recorded then streamed.
By the time shows reopen at Broadway, it will be closed for nearly a year. And it's looking like, for now, the fourth wall will be digital. This announcement is in light of the release of the 74th Tony Award nominations last Thursday. As it stands, the 2020 Tony Awards still do not have an air date, but it is no doubt that people are eager for a sense of normality through entertainment. Pepperdine student and Broadway fan Brandon Ishak said he is excited about this reopening.
I think it's good that they have a plan to reopen, because I know for a lot of these actors, it's their main source of income.
Katie Muchler, NewsWaves Connection.
Tiger and I got to sit down with entertainment anchors Katie and Brett to discuss more.
Yes, guys, it's very interesting to see. There's so many moving parts behind this story. And when I was talking to Melanie, she explained to me how she had bought tickets to Hamilton before the pandemic, and they had rescheduled the show a couple of times before finally canceling and refunding her ticket money. She had said she had watched it on Disney Plus, and that definitely helped soften the blow. I know I got a chance to watch it. Have you guys seen it yet?
Yeah, Katie, I actually got to see Hamilton on Disney Plus, and I really enjoyed getting to watch a Broadway show in that setting. And I know Aladdin is in the pipeline to come to Disney Plus as well. And What the Constitution Means to Me just came to Amazon Prime, and HBO Max has a Broadway musical lined up. So it's really exciting to see these musicals and productions get a new life in streaming, but it does definitely change the way we view Broadway going into the future.
Yeah, I think the virtual shows are really cool, and it's providing the opportunity to a lot of people to see the shows. It's just really sad to think about all the people who will be out of work when the in-person shows are no longer existing. I mean, all the ushers at the theaters, all the box office people, all those people who work the jobs when it's in person versus the people who won't have to do any of those jobs when things are virtual. But I do know back in my hometown, they're still putting on live theater, and they just have to follow the CDC guidelines. So everybody on stage has to be 6 feet apart, and none of them can touch each other. So it definitely is going to change the vibe of the entire show, but it is good that they're still trying to make that magical experience for their audience.
I think it's really unfortunate that most of the shows are canceled, but I think with COVID and everything, it's better to stay safe than sorry. And after COVID, maybe more theater experiences will switch to virtual experiences. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Thanks, everyone.
While we may not be able to hear any of our favorite Broadway hits soon, we can listen to an old school hit from a Pepperdine student right here. Our Kaylin Mendez sat down with singer Montel Jordan to talk about how exactly he's juggling his Pepperdine student life, his singing, and being a pastor. Kaylin Mendez can tell us exactly how he does it.
This is how we do it. It's Friday night and I feel alright. The party's right here with Kaylin. So that's a little bit right there.
You may know him as that guy who sings This Is How We Do It, that hit 1995 song that you can still hear in commercials and TV shows today. But for me, Montel Jordan is also my classmate at Pepperdine, and he's been gracious enough to sit down and have this interview with me, asking fun questions along the way and seeing just how he does it. What was the moment for you that you thought, like, music, this is what I want to do?
As a senior in high school, at Sarah High School, our talent show, for the first time in public, I sang Lionel Richie's song, Jesus is Love, while playing it on the piano in our gym. And then it was in that moment where I felt like I found my space, that I could do something unique to me that nobody else in my whole high school could do.
You graduated Pepperdine with a communications degree back in like 1991. So what has brought you back to Pepperdine?
I felt like I was accomplished, and even though I had some units remaining to finish financially and just life-wise, I took a step from it and was ready to move on. 25, 30 years later, I've stepped back into a place of wanting to finish something that was started long ago.
What's one skill, talent, or hobby that nobody really knows that you have or do?
I can juggle. So here's a piece of tape.
Nice.
Here's a clip. And here's some scissors. I'm not going to do the scissors. How about that?
Not the scissors.
Here's some more tape here.
All right. Oh, wow. Okay.
Or even to go. Yeah.
Where do you think you will be in the next 25 years? Or what do you hope that will have happened in your life in the next 25 years?
I have lived my life the same way I plan on living the next 25 years, what I call living after the ellipsis. So if I were to say, this guy did a song that was a hit record called This Is How We Do It, ... But then he went on to become a pastor, and he went on to, help change the world in this area. Like, I'm living life for after the ellipsis. That's what my next 25 years looks like.
You can watch the rest of this interview on our YouTube channel. I knew a lot of celebrities came to Pepperdine, but I did not know that we had a Grammy-nominated artist.
Montel is actually in one of my classes, and he is such a great guy, so it's really interesting to learn more about him. Thank you, Kaylin. It's now time to unplug from the madness. And while it still may be called work, working out is a great way to take a break. Sophomore Aubrey Roberts works out in a newly created Pepperdine outdoor fitness area to get outside and away from her technology.
Being outside for a lift, even though right now it's just what we have to do, I think it's been really good to have a change of pace, a change of setting.
Roberts lives on campus and spends a majority of her time in her room social distancing and taking classes. Her weight workouts and her team practices allow her to take a break from the computer in her room. Something as simple as a walk outside will help to unplug and recharge during the week.
That'll be it for today's edition of NewsWaves Connection. Be sure to join us here every Tuesday from near and far at 5 o'clock.
Each week we will close the show with a hit that was handpicked by our NewsWaves Connection team. Here's Dreams by Fleetwood Mac.